Sometimes in research or even your clinical studies or even your daily activities, you just go to a gym, you want to check something, how someone is doing something, especially in research, this particular example I'm giving you. You want to know how they did it so that you can sort of you would be able to replicate it, because most of the time you just want to understand if something that they are talking about or they've done it before, a kind of movement or a question they address, can I replicate it? That happens a lot in research, right? So I just asked this simple question, motion capture for the ACL injury, because I've done it a lot. So it's this part. Just took these two, all right, to my ChatGPT. So to understand if I can replicate it, right? Imagine that I have no clue. So for this particular one, I have some clue, but let's imagine I have no clue about this one. So just ask question, just no context, just giving these two images. You can give like more images if you like. Then asking like be the worldwide biomechanics expert and things like explain the study, potential protocol, and you can ask any questions you like. So let's have a look at what ChatGPT gave me. And it was quite impressive, because I did my PhD and, many years in these kind of things. I probably can't tell all these details, but you see what's going on here, and you can easily replicate it. It is single leg landing, right? You can tell this definitely single leg landing. What is I trying to measure? The impact attenuation, neuromuscular control, dynamic posture. It's basically, sometimes it takes you like 6 months to understand, okay, what direction I want to take. And it's basically listing you. And some people say, oh, this is like, I remember, in another context, people say that, oh, I'm not thinking or I'm not being critical and things like that. But this is your support. Use it. Don't just feel like, because you're gonna build up on this. That part takes time, right? So it's just understanding what's going on here. Anyway, so dynamic posture, stability, and then why unilateral, and just tells you about it. You can actually stop. Like if you want to learn more, you can answer it yourself, and then try to see what ChatGPT says. Or experimental protocol, very high level. It's just get kinematic, reaction force, and EMG. See, let's have a look. Yes, I can't even see that there's an EMG, but it can see it here. You see, I think there are EMG here. Can you believe that? So it's basically, it actually goes through, and it's a force plate. We can see the markers. We can see. It's amazing, right? And it's just I don't know if EMG is just, it says just primary measurements. Anyway, the equipment. You see the systems, the cameras, the sampling ring, etc. This is just overall he's talking about, but can't get it from this image anyhow. And synchronization, it just go on and on. Participation, so you can actually how you want to design it. The market sets, anyway, it's just another story. Let's just get some recommendations, like how to calibrate. How it's basically, if you want to do like a PhD or a kind of study, and that it's basically telling you the whole methodology that you want to do it, right? So task instruction, and just like how to do it. I remember I was doing my PhD and it was like we couldn't agree on this with a couple of people, but here you can actually discuss it and come up with a really cool idea. Anyway, so design report, arms and conditions, trials. It's amazing, right? Successful criteria, and even this one, this is actually another important part, like how you define it, that's successful. And even it's like a markers loss usually happens when you jump and land stuff. Markers would push off, right? Or drop heights, usually this is the cane, or people go to like 60, 90 as well, or even more. Sometimes data processing, you see, it's just going through even processing, like the threshold is talking about. The filtering, usually pass for both of them, that people use it, or current reaction force, matching with them, anyhow, and how to calculate the rest, outcome variables, these are the outcome variables. Landing mechanics, how you define them, and what you should aim for, even like joint moments and power. Dynamic stability, the questions that we ask in the beginning, right? And so on and on, you see, and even fatigue, type of things, and minimal reporting. That's it. Basically, it's just gave you with just these two. You can now do any other movements you want, or even if you have instrumentation around it, just ask the right question and you get it, and that's amazing. Do not just be like I see that there are people actually saying, oh, it's just making me like dumb, or I'm not learning, but you need to know how to use your AI. AI is not just gonna give you the solutions. It might, but it's you who decide what type of solutions you're looking for. It's just like brainstorming, discussions, and there's a lot you can do with your AI. So enjoy it for this and have a good weekend.